welcome back to the channel. Nuke here. So this is a video that I took a while back. I want to say it was in 2024, 23, 23, 22, 21. I think it was in 21, a little bit after I got the Nissan Leaf, or aka the Golf Kart. And I took it out for a range test because I wanted to see how far it could go about a year after I owned it. And this is what we got. We're going to take the golf cart for a range test, if you will. Hopefully we'll be able to find some charging stations along the way, test out the range on this thing. Destination's roughly 29 miles away, and we are going to take this thing out and see how it does. I believe the Leaf, the golf cart, goes about 40 miles full under ideal conditions, so it's getting close to the limit. It's going to be exciting to see if we can get this thing to go where we need it to go. Freeway travel has always been a bit tough with the Leaf. It usually gets about 60% of what it says it can. I got it fully charged, 100% charge, and we're gonna see how far we can get it to go, or if we can make our destination, I guess I should say, and see what we got here. So 100% and 47 miles. Again, that's under ideal conditions. We're averaging 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which means we have roughly 10 kilowatts, which has 5 bars. We're going to test this out. If we can average 4.7 kilowatts or miles per kilowatt, we should be able to go roughly 47 miles. We're going to do a partial mix of freeway and street to make it to our destination, and then look for a charger. So this is going to be interesting. We'll see how this goes. We're going to pick up something for my son. He's now into Power Rangers. We're going to see, he finds these toys that he really enjoys that aren't from his generation, so they don't make them anymore. So the only choice to find them is secondhand. It makes it a little bit difficult to find because they don't sell them new. It kind of makes it fun. It's like a little treasure hunt, and it gives us time to check out the cars and take them places and have a purpose to go to these places instead of just driving around aimlessly, which is also fun, but sometimes it's nice to go places with a purpose. Not saying that I don't like driving my cars around. I'm just saying we could do some fun little tests like this. So okay, so far we've used 2% and we've not gone very far. Set up the trip on the factory screen here, the factory navigation infotainment screen, the energy economy, and I'm going to hit reset. Right now, currently, we are using very low kilowatt hours. We're going slow. We're only going like 18 miles an hour on the surface streets. We've used 3% battery. Let me reset my trip meter here. One thing about the Leaf infotainment onboard real-time drive computer, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't give you, at least to my knowledge, too much information about how far you've gone and how many kilowatt hours that took as like a trip. It only does it as an overall average. So unless you reset the trip meter, the infotainment center, it won't give you any kind of information about your current trip, which is sort of disappointing because that would be a fairly useful tool as far as it goes with these electric vehicles. I know on Teslas they do. Maybe it's because you need to get a more expensive vehicle to have those features, or maybe it's just because this car's a little old. It's a 13, so it doesn't have so much information to you. One thing I can say for sure is that the regenerative braking in the higher percentage for the battery is definitely less. You can feel it when the car slows down. You take your foot off the accelerator, or you put it into the B mode, which I believe puts a heavier regenerative brake on deceleration. We're going to try and maximize our range here as best we can, so we're going to be doing slow accelerations. We're going to try and do the eco-friendly driving, if you know what I mean. So if you've ever driven behind a Leaf in your area, you know what I'm talking about. This is going to be a very slow trip. I'm not going to try and irritate other drivers the best I can. I know that's irritating at points. I will try and stay in the slower lanes when I do take freeway traffic. We've used 6% and we're on the surface streets. This navigation system is fairly old.
Continue on the current route.
We're gonna have Sheila in the background giving us direction. Not really too concerned about the directions. I was mostly concerned with it letting me know how many miles we have left to go. I do have it up on Google Maps as well. It just makes it a little bit easier to switch back and forth while driving and taking you guys with me on the trip here. We've used 8%, 25 miles left, so we've gone roughly 4 miles. I'm trying to take the surface streets as much as possible. I haven't been using the B mode for regenerative braking, as we're still at 92%. I feel like the B mode doesn't really start giving you any major benefits until you get to low 80s. We needed to charge it to 100% to get where we're going. Hopefully we'll still be able to get there. I'm not actually sure if we're even gonna make it. Again, it's 29 miles freeway only, which is the most direct route, but it also uses the most energy. Right now we're averaging 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour. That means we've used roughly 1 kilowatt, which is coming down to here 91%, so that's going to be pretty accurate. I am in eco mode, by the way. It's not regular mode. Back to what we're picking up. My son loves to watch YouTube videos, and he finds these old school sort of toys that he really likes to have, or toys that aren't from his generation, or toys that were from many years ago. And the only way to find them is to get them secondhand, or if you're lucky, you can find some collector that has them or something like that and buy new ones. That route is fairly expensive, so we generally try and find some secondhand ones. And if it's something that he really has to have, maybe for a big birthday present or something, we'll get him a new version. He just likes to play with them. That's what drives me to go do these kind of pickups, is his excitement and the look on his face when he gets it, perceives it, and plays with it. He's so animated, and I really enjoy all of the fun things that he does when he has some of these things. Back to our status, we've used 12%. We have roughly 24 miles to go. We're gonna hop on the freeway here. We have 41 miles of range left. It says we got 24 miles to go. That's pretty good. Current status is 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour. When we jump on the freeway here, I'm sure that's going to come down, especially since we haven't gone very far on this reset. We're getting on the freeway. This is a fairly steep on-ramp, accelerating slowly, 38 miles an hour on the on-ramp. Here where we are, our speed limits on the freeway are 65. We are probably going to run 55 just to be safe. We're at 57. We'll go 57. We're down to 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's a pretty big difference between 4.7 and 3.7. Basically, we're going a whole mile less every kilowatt hour. So if you figure we got 8 kilowatts, we can go 8 less miles, which if we only have 42 or 47 miles to go from the beginning, it's like 20%. We're at 82% right now, and it says we can go roughly 36 miles of range, and we're traveling roughly at 55 miles an hour. I am going to set the cruise here at 57, maybe 50, maybe 58. There's semi trucks passing us up, so that's that's a typical Leaf driver right there, I feel like, especially when you're trying to get to a destination where you may or may not be able to get there. We got the cruise set at 58. We're running roughly 3.7 miles per kilowatt. We're on our trip to go pick up this cool toy for my son. We're at about 70%. One thing I wanted to mention is the temperature outside. It's 54 degrees according to the car, and I don't have any climate control on. No fan, no heater, no air conditioning at this moment. It's not that hot in the car, and obviously it's not that cold either. I am charging my phone. I don't know if those things really make all that much difference. Right now we got 68%, 17 miles to go. We are on the freeway going roughly 58 miles an hour average. That's what I have the cruise control set at. Right now we're getting 4.0 miles per kilowatt hour. I am going to try and drop this down just a little bit here at 55. Semi trucks around me are roughly going the same speed. But one thing I can say is I really do enjoy this car. It's a great car for driving around town, especially for what I got it for. It's fun around town, kind of get you from A to B on your daily routes. It may not be able to give you long distance drives. We are trying to pick this up, which is roughly 30 miles away. It may not sound very far away for most people. Most places that I go, I can find a charger roughly nearby. If I'm going like a further distance, like here we're going on a trip 29 miles, hoping to make it there without having to do a charge, and that will be, you know, obviously beneficial, but we may have to stop and do a charge because it sure as heck beats pushing. I have done that already. We took it late at night out to do a sonic run and test the distance on it. It was windy, it was cold. The terrain that we traveled was pretty hilly, or had quite a few hills on it. We drove it on the freeway the entire way. All those factors, using the heater, going up hills, the terrain you're traveling, etc., make a huge difference, at least for this car. I'm not sure about other electric cars, but at least for this car it makes a huge difference. Around town it does really well. It's definitely not a car you're passing people in. I will probably do a few little videos on the Golf Kart as far as how it stacks up against maybe a Volt or an older Volt, maybe even a newer Volt, Prius Gen 1 and Gen 2. We're at 52%. We've got roughly 10 miles to go and 27 miles of range left on this charge. We are averaging about 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour, so that's pretty good. That's roughly what we're getting on the street, and we're traveling about 58 miles an hour. I'm pretty pleased so far, especially with traveling at this speed. This speed, right? We're going 58. We're really freaking cruising now. We are just annihilating the competition on the speed here. We will see if we can make it all the way, and of course we'll have to find a charging station on the way home, because obviously we're not going to make it back since we've used that much energy just to get to this point, which is about 2/3 of the way there. Averaging 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour, traveling 58 miles an hour, 52 degrees outside, 48% left, 22 miles left on range, 41% left in the battery pack. We're getting 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which is roughly what we're getting on the street, so that's pretty good. We got the cruise set at 58. We still haven't used any of the HVAC system, and according to our little onboard computer, we just got the battery level low warning, and that came on at 40% with 21 miles of range left. Roughly, the electric motor is currently using 15 kilowatts, and other systems are using less than half a kilowatt. My camera is having an issue, I guess, right now. It's too hot. The sun is shining right through the window, right on it, and I'm charging it with the cord. That's a bit of an issue, but it's okay. I did find a bit of a shorter, well, not shorter route, but less freeway route. I think we're gonna go ahead and take that route to try and conserve as much energy as we can to get to our destination and pick up our item, and then we will find a charger, because I don't want to have to charge on the way there. I'm hoping to make it back to a certain area to charge, which I don't know if it will happen, but we're definitely going to try. Okay, so we got off the freeway taking this other route here. We're getting 4.9 miles per kilowatt hour with 35% left. That's pretty good. We got 18 miles of range. We're using the B mode for a little bit heavier region. So far the trip's going pretty good. We got about, what does it say here? About 1.7 miles till we hit our destination. We did get the low battery warning when it said 21 miles of range left, which was roughly 40% left in the battery pack. Turns on at different times. It's not always the same. I've gotten the low battery range at like 30%, 25%, based off of maybe how far you're going or what you're doing. It turns on at different times, not always the same. We've made 1.5 trees, well, maybe 1 3/4 trees. We're gonna have to find a charging station. There was one that I noted before we started the trip. When I go on the trips with the golf cart, I want to make sure that we got at least some chargers planned out in case something happens, like a lot of wind. We're just about at the address here of the pickup, and we got 0.3 miles. So we've got 33% battery left. We've got roughly 16 miles of range. We're getting 5.0 kilowatt hours average for the whole trip. It's been a success. We made it. I'm gonna go pick this thing up and then I'll be back. We got what we needed. We got our goodies here. All right, here we go. On the way to the charger. So we're leaving this destination with 33%, 16 miles. We're averaging 5 miles per kilowatt hour. It's 52 degrees outside. We are not using any HVAC or heating or cooling or even the fan at this point. The charger is about 2 miles away. We'll see what the actual charge time is. This charger says it's located at a Tesla warehouse. It does say it's a J1772 plug and it's open to the public. We are going to see what we find and see if we can actually charge there. I don't know, the last person that charged there was listed in 2019. I don't even know if the charger's still there. So that's one thing about the PlugShare app. It's a great resource, but I wouldn't 100% depend on it. I have a couple other apps that I use. One is ChargePoint, and one is Blink, and one is EVgo. I will say the Blink chargers are the most unreliable. They usually have a lot of problems when you get there, and they rarely ever work. So at this point in time, I would say stay away from the Blink chargers. I don't know if other people have had better experiences with them. Great. I just have not. Just find a company or find a group of chargers that are reliable. I've had great luck with ChargePoint chargers. I've only been to maybe 1 or 2 ChargePoint stations that I won't say don't work, but have like a slight issue with the clip and the locking mechanism. When you get an electric vehicle, you'll find out all the resources that you can quickly, because they're definitely a benefit to you, and running out of a charge is not fun. We only used 1%, which is cool. We still got 16 miles of range, and we're still averaging 5.0 kilowatt hours. Going into a big kind of office building complex area. Here we are, ChargePoint chargers. Yeah, so they're out here in the wild, so we're gonna put details on it here. It's shared 6.1, so that's pretty slow. It says it's free, but it only charges at 6.1 kilowatts per hour. For ChargePoint chargers, you do have to have a ChargePoint account, and you just kind of tap the thing there. You can use your phone if you like as well. This one has one of these broken clips, so you can see right there, see? It doesn't lift up or go down. There's no lock on the mechanism here. Anyways, we're gonna put it on here, and we're gonna push that down like that. So you kind of gotta push it down like that to get the charger to start charging. Boom, right there, charging. Only getting 3.2 kilowatts per hour. Ridiculously slow. We're gonna look for another charger here in a second here. They charge pretty slow over here. I'm gonna try and go to this other one across the way instead. We're headed over to this other charging station here. I'm hoping that it has a faster charging port on it. That one did 6.1 shared. Usually when they do shared, it means you get like roughly 3 kilowatts per port, and they had 2 Teslas charging on those things. That means that it's gonna take forever. Look, there's some charging stations over there. Let's pull into there and see. Let's try one of these. Alright, so here, where this one is not a certain branded charger. This is a specific brand. It's just a regular charger here. This says it's put on by Bay Area Quality Management District. That's cool. Let's see what this thing's gonna put out as far as charging. I guess we won't really know. We can check on the Leaf. So we're gonna plug this one in here and see what we get. Alright, there it goes. It's starting to charge made by Gillig. This is actually a Gillig company. It does 32 amps max. Let's see what this thing's gonna produce for us here. Oh, it's only giving 3 kilowatts here as well, so not much of a benefit for us here. So I guess we're gonna try this other charge point one. But yeah, it's kind of neat. You find all these like chargers out in the public in the wild here, and then you can just kind of stop and grab a charge at most of the places. Obviously if it's private property, they might not let you sit here for too long and grab a charge, but I think if you explain to them, you know, yeah, I'm running low on juice, I'm not gonna make it home, just taking a few minutes here to grab a charge, I think that most places are pretty open to it and they would let you charge. I haven't had any issue with it in the past, so we'll see if anybody comes out and talks to us while we're charging here. But I'm gonna go try this other charge point charger. We're gonna head over to a Chatamo charger and grab a Chatamo charge, which is a DC fast charge from an EVgo station, because that charger there is also very slow. It will take many hours to charge the car just to get back home, which is not what I want to do. So we're gonna head over to this Chatamo station. It's about 5 miles away, so we should be fine. It says we can go roughly 16 miles and we got 32%, so I think we'll be okay. We're getting 5.1 miles per kilowatt hour currently. It's about 52 degrees outside still. We got about 31% battery life remaining, and we're not using any HVAC systems yet. Still making good progress with the golf cart. There's been plenty of charging stations along the way. One thing to note, when you do have an EV vehicle, for the most part, it's kind of a different lifestyle. Don't be in a hurry. Find some coffee shops or stores that you like to go to that have charging stations nearby. Charge at them, take a little walk over. It's definitely a change of pace. If you're in a hurry and you have a 2013 Nissan Leaf, aka the golf cart, then you're not going to get anywhere very fast, so don't take that car. But other than that, enjoy it. We got on the freeway and we are about 1.8 miles away. We got 27% battery remaining and using about roughly average of 5.2 miles per kilowatt hour. We're getting a pretty strong headwind. We're going to see how much that's going to affect our range here. It doesn't seem like it's doing too much at this point yet. Our average is still 5.2, but our instant is around 4 and a quarter, probably 4.2 or so. We again are traveling at 58 miles an hour on the freeway, and we are not using any HVAC or extra accessories. It does make a huge difference when you travel on the freeway, especially when you have strong winds on your trip. It's been a pretty successful trip so far. We haven't had a push, which is always a good thing. Pushing this car is not exciting. Pushing it by yourself is impossible. You need one person to steer, one person to push. Last time when we did run out of juice, my wife was with me so she could steer and I could push. Lucky me. But it was my fault. I should have gauged it a little bit better and taken the precautions that needed to make sure that we made it all the way back. I say it with a smile on my face. It's fun. There's sort of a little bit of thrill in it, but don't take it to the extreme. I mean, don't put your family in danger or anything like that. That wouldn't be a good idea. Always try and make the best of it when you can. So here we are, we're pulling up to the EVgo station. The EVgo stations in Chatamos, they work a little differently than most J1772 plugs, which is something that you'll find more familiar. Sometimes you need the app, sometimes you can use your credit card at the station. I'm gonna bring both just because I know that in the past when I do use the app, it doesn't always work. This right here is a Chatamo station. There's the screen on them. Sometimes the screen doesn't work though, and they also have a little card reader right here. I would never swipe my card on one of those. I don't know if there's, sometimes there's skimmers and other things out there. We don't ever want to deal with that crap. Select Chatamo. Then we got to plug our connector in. So see, this is a little different than the other way with the J1772s. So we're gonna open up the charge port here. This is our Chatamo size right here. These are big and heavy, and they usually get kind of tangled up here. So we're gonna try and untangle it quick. All right. So this thing is plugged in much like this. It's kind of a big connector, and make sure that it says okay there on the connector. If it doesn't say okay, then it's probably not ready. We're gonna push start. 30 cents a minute for the credit card. It says 25 cents a minute if we use it on our app. Just so sometimes if you remember or you have the app or whatever, it's a little bit cheaper than it is if you just go ahead and stick it on there. Okay, so there it goes. It worked. It's authorized. It's charging. Charger's in use. So it's charging the car now. It's good. It's got a little picture on there, and the Leaf just beeped, so it's getting a charge. All right. We charged up on the Chatamo. We got roughly 86, up to 86%. So I think we came in there with around 21 or something like that. But yeah, roughly 86% is what we're left with. And now we're gonna make our journey back. I think we should be able to make it okay. I would say it did pretty successful. I took it to where I wanted to go. I charged up at one of the chargers, the Chatamo chargers out there at DC Fast. The DC Fast chargers are kind of expensive, so I don't generally normally try and charge there. They charge usually a session fee, and then they charge also a kilowatt hour fee, and basically a convenience fee because it charges fast. If you charge a J1772 plug, they just charge a kilowatt hour fee usually. Sometimes they charge like a parking fee depending on where you go, but for the most part, it's been pretty much just the kilowatt hour fee, which can range anywhere from like 15 cents all the way up to like 65 cents a kilowatt hour. But the Chatamo chargers, the DC fast chargers, they are very expensive. They can be like $1.50 session fee plus like 65 cents a kilowatt hour or 50 cents a kilowatt hour, depending on which app you use or depending on which service you use, whether it's ChargePoint or EVgo or EA, which is Electrify America, Tesla. Some of them can charge on Teslas. Now, at this moment in time, my Leaf still can't charge on a Tesla. And the Golf Kart is getting a little bit worse as we go along. And I'll put up more videos about the Leaf and the Golf Kart because I still do enjoy driving the Leaf and I still use it today. And today it is 2026. But it definitely doesn't get as much as it did back then, and it definitely has been becoming less and less useful as far as getting to places, but still great for around town, which is what I bought it for, and I'm still pretty pleased with it. A little bit about the range test on an older Leaf. 2013 model year is mine, and if you are thinking about one of those first gen or second gens, they are still useful if you don't drive a lot, and especially right now with gas being pretty expensive at this moment in time. I'm still happy with mine. It's definitely been beneficial to have it. I'm very happy to still have it and still drive it around. Maybe someday I'll do a battery swap on it, but it doesn't seem likely as of right now. The batteries are still absolutely expensive, and unfortunately it's seemingly that electric cars seem to be a lot more disposable than normal gas vehicles at this moment in time. So maybe plug-in hybrids are the way to go. I don't know. We'll find out more as we get more into the cars, and maybe we'll get a plug-in hybrid or something soon. I hope you guys are enjoying what you enjoy doing. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys a little bit later on the channel.